8 signs your girlfriend doesn't love you anymore. Even the happiest relationship can feel like they've reached a dead end. But can true love really grow cold? There's no denying that a partnership takes a ton of work. If you stop putting in the effort, the relationship will suffer and you'll start noticing certain behaviors in your partner that require immediate attention. If you have a sneaking suspicion that your girlfriend or wife has fallen out of love with you, then keep on watching for these 8 warning signs. But before we get into the red flags of a woman out of love, don't forget to click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so that you'll always be the first to see our daily uploads here on the bright side of life. Number 8. She's lost interest in your mutual hobbies. Has your significant other stopped spending her free time with you lately? Maybe you used to love playing video games together or laughing your faces off watching a funny show you both enjoyed. Have your weekly trips to the movies suddenly become a thing of the past? Now, she doesn't seem to have the time or interest to do the things that used to bring you two together. If this behavior only applies to a particular mutual hobby, there might not be too much to worry about. In that case, it could just be a growing boredom with routine. If you tend to do the same thing every single night, it might be time to spice things up. Number 7. She doesn't laugh at your jokes. Your girlfriend or wife used to laugh out loud at your jokes and was always drawn by all your funny stories. You were so hilarious in her eyes, and this really gave you a sense of pride and boosted your self-esteem. But lately, she barely gives a chuckle or just ignores your whims entirely. So you ask yourself, what's changed? If you notice this red flag, but your relationship seems fine otherwise, then again, it might not be a cause for concern. She could just be tired or stressing out over a personal or work-related problem, so there's no space in her head for funny jokes at the moment. However, if she doesn't pay attention to any of your jokes in combination with other warning signs on this list, it might not have anything to do with her own worries, but with her relationship with you. Number 6. She doesn't answer your calls or texts. If your partner has free time but doesn't answer your calls or texts, that's a sign of a problem brewing. Again, it might have something to do with what's going on in her life outside of you. But if, for example, she answers other people's calls and texts but is ghosting you, then it's time to look at what's happening with the relationship. Of course, if the texts you receive are emotionally cold or it takes a long time to get a response back, then that's a red flag to watch out for. Number 5. She's no longer jealous at all. It's natural for partners to get just a little bit jealous in the relationship. If she's shown concern in the past for your female friends or coworkers, but all of a sudden couldn't care less who this Jessica person is that keeps texting you or liking your pictures on social media, then this change in attitude can be nerve-wracking. It's possible that she's made attempts in the past to know more about your life, but has gotten resistance. If this is the case, she might have grown tired and desensitized. But be careful with this sign, because it could be a good one. If she was jealous and that changes all of a sudden, it might mean that she's finally gotten to the point that she trusts you completely. The only way of knowing what the change signifies is to ask. Number 4. She doesn't need your help. She used to ask you for help with a variety of things and was glad that you were taking care of her. She might have needed help in simple little things like reaching for a box in the closet or opening that cursed pickle jar. Or perhaps it was in bigger matters, like finding the solution to a complex problem or figuring out the next step in her life. But now, not only is she perfectly fine without your assistance, she flat out rejects it. This situation might have you baffled, but it could be because she's made a connection between asking for help and some negative instance in your relationship. For example, if she asked for help before but you rejected it, reacted grumpily, pointed out a weakness in her, or just generally made her feel bad about it, it's likely she's made a rule in her head to refrain from turning to you again. Ask asking for help doesn't come easy to a lot of people. Everyone has their own sense of pride, and no one likes to feel as if they're incapable. It's much easier to accept help from someone who offers it kindly than someone who gets annoyed at the request. Number 3. She doesn't tell you how her day went. She used to share everything that was going on in her life. She'd tell you about her job, her coworkers, her friends, the highlight of her day, and her worries. If you find her resisting your attempts to communicate, constantly deflecting the question, or looking worried without telling you what's on her mind, then something's definitely not right. It might be totally innocent. Maybe she just doesn't feel like sharing her day once in a while. That's completely natural, since we all have those types of days. But if it has to do with a relationship, there are several possibilities. It could be that when she talks to you, she feels like you don't listen, or that her concerns aren't really given enough thought or time for exploration. Think about how much you really listen to her, and how much time the two of you usually spend on discussing what's going on in her life. The problem could lie there. Number 2. She no longer cares how you spend your time. She used to ask you about every single minute of your day, but now she mostly keeps to herself. She wanted to spend time with you and make room for you in her schedule, but now she's suddenly too busy. You used to coordinate when you'd meet with friends and when you'd be back home, but now you suspect she wouldn't notice if you spent all day out. Any of this striking a familiar chord? When people are in love, they tend to want to spend quality time with each other almost every day. They show care through asking about each other's days, having dinner together, and knowing where the other person is when outside the home. Every so often, this lack of concern can be put down to being too busy. Everyone gets to that point sometimes. But if your workloads haven't changed and this behavior is a constant in your life, then it's time to pay more attention. Number 1. She's not planning her future with you. When you're in a committed relationship with someone, it's only natural to envision or even start building and planning a future together. When happy couples make decisions or plans about the future, they think about one another. These decisions might be simple, like planning what to have for dinner, going away for a trip, or what's on the agenda for tomorrow. Or they can be complex, like planning to have kids, buy a home, or move to a different location. If your wife or girlfriend is planning today, tomorrow, and beyond, but you're not in the picture, that's a big warning sign that she doesn't see a future with you. If this is happening, it's a strong incentive to discuss what's going on in your relationship. Are you the type of person who tends to stick to a safe routine without any major changes or progress in life? This could be why she doesn't feel like it's worth making life-changing plans with you. Even if your girlfriend displays one or all of these signs, it's not over till it's over. Bringing these behaviors to light by communicating openly and honestly with her can help you discover what the root of the problem is. That step can work wonders because your spouse will feel like you're attentive to the relationship and are willing to listen to her concerns. Once you know why something's happening, you're already halfway there to solving the problem. The other step is to make the necessary changes so that you can provide the thing your partner needs to be happy with you. If you're ready to open the dialogue and work hard to make the right changes, you'll be just fine. How would you go about solving any of these issues? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, give a like and share it with your friends. Don't forget to click subscribe to stay on the bright side of life.